What's up, everybody? I'm Max, live from the Wax Anonymous BLU STU with
Soph. And I'm off the record. 1, 2, 3.
So thank you so much for taking your time and coming down here. Definitely, we're very excited to have you here. We're very excited for your performance that you're going to go ahead and do later today. Now, I wanted to go ahead and ask you a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind. Now, tell us about like your journey in music. Where did you start? You know, how did you decide to even get into music in the first place?
Okay, so I have been all about music ever since I was little. I've been listening to it ever since I can remember. I've been singing ever since I can remember. As I grew up, I kind of went into a different route. I went into musical theater, and that's really where like I got to experience performing live in front of an audience and doing live things and all that stuff. So everything for me has always been like, I love performing live music. I love doing everything like in front of an audience. As I got older and I got into college, I met a lot of people, a lot of musicians, and they were like, oh, you should try making music, try doing music and things like that. And I was like, no, like, right. I do theater, like, that's pretty much it. But, the more I hung out with them, they finally got me into it. And as soon as I wrote my first song and I started performing in a concert setting, I was absolutely obsessed.
So what, like, you said you started to do theater. So what, like, did you do like any performances here, like around Miami, or did you work with like any performance companies or anything like that?
Okay, so I started doing musical theater back in middle school. I was like in the seventh or eighth grade, and I ended up going to performing arts school for high school, and I studied musical theater there. I did a lot of shows there. They got like really big. They've gotten really popular over the years. I was Velma Kelly in their production of Chicago the Musical. And essentially like that's really what I wanted to go into, like study and things like that. I did a lot of shows like with, I think a show or two with Seminole Theater, and I did as well shows with Miami-Dade College.
Okay. So, I mean, when it comes down to musical theater, obviously, you're auditioning for something that's already written and done. So how was the transition for you, like from going from something that's already scripted and given to you versus, hey, I'm going to make something of my own here. I'm going to create something.
In a way, it's stressful because it's like something I had never done before, but it's also like a breath of fresh air, like a clean slate, and I could do whatever I want. But I still kind of see it in the same light, if that makes any sense. Like I'll still go on stage and think that I'm playing a character when I'm really just performing as myself. So
do you have like your own little, like, I guess like a persona, or like, do you feel like you're a different person when you're performing versus like, I don't know, in the chair right now?
100%. I'm way more comfortable on stage and like performing and doing all that stuff than I am like on a one-on-one. You get what I'm saying? I've always been like that though. Like I can't ever remember a time where I'm like, so yeah, I would assume it's like a persona, I would say.
So would you say that your influences, like in your music and your writing, would you say influenced more by that theater background, or is it influenced more by like, what you listen to, like what's on your phone playing, your Spotify, things like that?
I think it goes both ways, in the sense that I'm more influenced theater-wise when it comes to me being on a stage and performing, because that's where my background is. But music, like I've been growing up listening to a bunch of like dad rock. I'm a huge Beatles fan. Like I love the Beatles. I've been listening to the Beatles since I found out I can like hear, So, things like that. And, as I grew up, like listening to a bunch of different artists. So it's like a mix of both.
Okay. So aside from the Beatles, you said you mentioned dad rock. Like what do you classify as dad rock? That's a genre that's new to me.
I don't think it's a new genre. Like everyone listens to dad rock. Dad rock is like your Van Halen, your Guns N' Roses, your The Cure, like all those different types of bands, like I would assume is like dad rock.
So So dad rock is just rock your dad listens to in his truck on the way to work.
Exactly. And when he picks you up from school, you know, and like asks you if you want to go to McDonald's, like type of thing, like that's what dad rock is.
That's interesting. My version of dad rock is definitely different from that. My dad rock was a little bit more like Depeche Mode, New Order, things like that. So I don't know if that fits the genre, but hey, if it's dad rock, it's dad rock.
You know, it's dad rock. It's very broad.
No, of course. So let me ask you, you know, you currently have a new song out, right?
Yes.
Tell us about your new song that you have currently out.
I have a new song out on all platforms now. It's called Winter. I released it back in November. I think November 10th it came out. It is a different track than compared to everything else that I have out right now. It's, I don't know how I would classify. I guess like alternative, kind of like if I have to like put it in a specific category, but it's, you know, it's a sad song.
It's a sad song?
Yeah.
So tell us like what gave you the idea to write, you know, this new song? And this is a song you're going to perform for us from what I understand.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. One of them.
Oh, okay. Cause I actually heard the song. I heard the song before you came in today, and I was listening to it for, you know, a couple of times throughout the week, you know, and you're right. It does give me like a very somber tone, very different from, you know, some of the other stuff you put out. So like why the change? Where did they come from?
It's really funny. I wrote it, I think a year ago, like on Christmas Day. I just sat down, I was cold, and that's the first line came out, my hands are freezing. And then I just kind of started spitballing a bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh, this song's like really sad. I don't know where it came from, like so random, you know? And it's basically a song about, you know, your partner leaving you. You know, and you're just like, what? Like, I thought we were so good together. Like, I don't understand why you're leaving, like kind of a vibe. And later on, I'm like, wow, it makes sense. Like, it made sense to me personally, like on a more personal level as to how it came about. But, you know, it's just a sad, relatable song that I think everybody can listen to and, you know, scream like their lungs out to it in the car.
Everybody loves sad music.
Yes.
Everybody loves sad music. Have you ever listened to The Killers' Mr. Brightside?
Yes.
That song has been on the UK Top 200 for the longest time ever. It's something crazy like that. Everybody loves sad music. So, like, I don't know, do you listen to sad music a lot? Like, or was it just that one moment that you were just like, you know what? I'm feeling a type of way.
No, I listen to sad music all the time. I'm crying all the time. So sappy. But you know what? Like, I think sad songs are just some of the best ones, because it really allows you to like tap into that feeling and tap into that emotion, whether you want to or not. You know, like it could be a sad song that you listen to because like you just love it so much, or maybe you just want to cry and the tears don't come out until you play a song and you're like, you know. But sad music is great, and I think it's very healthy.
I mean, it's very vulnerable. Tell us here, like, what's currently on your repeat right now? What's on your Spotify cycle? Is it sad music? What are you listening to?
Oh my God, guys, I've been blasting Lizzie McAlpine. Have you ever heard of her?
I have not, but that's something we gotta.
Yeah, she is this like indie pop artist, kind of like what I do. Very guitar heavy, just her and her guitar. She came out with an album, like I think in like a year ago or so, a year or 2 years ago, called, I forgot what it was called, but it was really good. Bunch of sad songs, bunch of stuff that really has you there like thinking. That's been on blast for me, and it shows as well. Like the things that I've been writing lately, like it shows that I have been listening to that. Like it really has influenced me and my writing style. But you know, a lot of oldies. You know, I also just watched Priscilla. That soundtrack is fire. Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
It's the new Elvis.
Priscilla?
Yeah, it's the new Elvis movie. The soundtrack is really good. Like, they be playing some fire music.
Interesting. So, I mean, you did mention, like, dad rock, classic stuff, oldies. Like, is there any artists that you can think of, like, that just, like, are currently, like, wow, this is, like, the modern artist that's, like, for me, like, they're going to make some crazy stuff, and they're making crazy stuff now. And I'm, who's exciting you now, you know?
Who's exciting me now? Someone that's exciting me is someone that has been exciting me ever since, like, I was little. Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars?
I'm going to tell you Bruno Mars. A lot of people are like, oh my God, yeah, Bruno Mars is so great. Guys, Bruno Mars has been doing some like revolutionary like shit.
I mean, I'll tell you, I was a huge fan of the Silk Sonic record, the one he did with Anderson .Paak. I was a huge fan of that because I actually liked both of those artists individually. So when I saw them that they put out, you know, the project, you know, I got it and I'm like, this needs to be a longer project. Was it 7 songs? 7, 8 songs?
Something like that.
That's not enough. That's not enough for the caliber of a project it was. But I can definitely agree with you. That's a very exciting. Like,
yeah, you know, and then like that album specifically, like people like nowadays listen to it, right? And then they're like, oh wow, this music is so great, but they're just remaking what has already been done. You know what I mean? Like back in the Motown days and things like that. They're just bringing it back. So now they're getting a new audience, and those people are not only discovering Silk Sonic, but are also discovering, you know, their influences and the people that came before them. So I think it's like really refreshing in a sense that like younger people are experiencing like this newfound like music that has been repeated. But that's what they say, like the classics are always repeated.
I mean, you see that a lot, especially like in social media. Like I would say about a year ago, if it was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I don't know, time passes weird. But because of Stranger Things, everybody on TikTok was using Running Up the Hill.
Yes.
That song that like, you know, kind of like just disappeared. And then it just had a huge upbringing and was like #1 on Spotify for like months. So like it was, and everybody was using the audio. And now everybody knows the song.
Well, that's how it is. Like music is just a crazy thing, you know, and everything will just be brought back up. Like these biopics too, like how I was saying, like Priscilla and things like that. All this old stuff just keeps getting brought back up, and you know, everything just repeats itself. Like
yeah. Elvis,
like it's like fashion.
The Elton John movie.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
A lot of biopics do come out.
And now Bob Marley is coming out with a biopic. Yes, I'm excited. Bob Marley and Michael Jackson coming out with a biopic too.
You're gonna be there for all of them.
Bro, I love biopics. Like I'm obsessed with them.
You think you're gonna have your own one day?
I wish. Can you believe that? No.
Well, maybe one day it happens, and then you look back on this and you're like,
bro, that'd be crazy. I'm like, guys, I was here at BLU STU talking about my biopic before it even existed.
oh man, that would be awesome.
But yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody stick around. Sova's going to perform her new song, Winter. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited. Anything else you want to say? Anything you want to promote?
Nothing much. Just, you know, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at SOPHMANAYA, SOPHMINAYA. Winter is out on all platforms, along with a couple other of my songs. So if you guys want to go check that out, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you listen to music, it'll be on there. But nothing. Thank you guys so much for having me, and I'm so excited to perform.
Absolutely. We're very excited, guys. Thank you guys again for watching. Subscribe to the Wax Anonymous channel. Leave a like. Leave a comment. If you guys want somebody, put it down below. We'll see if we can get them. Thank you again. Have a good one, everybody.
My hands are freezing. There you go, leaving me all alone out in the cold. No hand to hold, somewhere unknown. My body's trembling. There you go, sending me out of control. When you know I'm alone, this snowstorm's never ending. Yeah, you call me dramatic, every word that I say. You think I'm problematic, but you're the one who's leaving me for the winter. Leave me out in the cold, leaving me for the winter. Tired of being told you love me, then you hate me. Don't appreciate me no more. The wind keeps blowing. I should get going back on my own, even though you were home, and now I'm out here wondering alone. But you say I'm the bad guy, blame me for what you've done. Guess it's time to say goodbye, 'cause you're the one who's leaving me for the winter. Leave me out in the cold,